Slammiversary couldn't get any freaking bigger. There's rumors circulating right now that AJ Styles will be at Slammiversary. You heard me right. AJ Styles could possibly be at Slammiversary. As if Slammiversary could not get any bigger. I kind of am like, wow, this would be unique. This would be interesting. AJ Styles probably could make the argument that he was the first homegrown TNA star. But at the same time, everything's so good at TNA. I don't want him to mess up the Trick Williams, Joe Henry, and Mike Santana storyline, because I don't see where he fits into the storyline. Although AJ Styles, if anything, I would like him to get inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. Because while I have been critical of AJ in the WWE, because I know that AJ in the WWE is not the same AJ Styles that we had in TNA, where he was sliding under guardrails, not over guardrails, but going under them, where he was doing the spiral tap. He is a has-been in the WWE. He is a watered-down version of what he used to be in TNA. But AJ Styles is the phenomenal one. He is the guy who brought TNA to the... He changed the game for TNA Wrestling. He was the first homegrown talent. And he deserves a spot in the TNA Hall of Fame. Usually they do the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory. I'd much rather him come in around that time. But Slammiversary is a huge pay-per-view for TNA. It's the anniversary show. And if the opportunity is here to bring AJ in for Slammiversary, you can celebrate the anniversary of TNA no better way than having AJ Styles. Again, I just don't want him messing around in the Mike Santana, Joe Henry, Trick Williams feud. I think it's too good. It doesn't really need that. And unless he's going to come in as maybe a special guest referee, but I don't, since Impact was recorded and it's already been recorded, unless they announce it on YouTube. That's the only place I see AJ as a special guest referee, and maybe doing a little something with Trick Williams to inspire a Trick Williams versus AJ Styles match, that if Trick loses the world title, he could immediately go into an AJ Styles feud. That would be absolutely phenomenal. No pun intended. But AJ Styles in TNA is newsworthy. I don't know if it's necessary though. So I probably have a hot take on this as well, because everybody would probably be jumping at the bit to see AJ Styles in TNA. I just think the timing isn't quite right. But it's newsworthy, and it's definitely something that would get people talking. I just don't... TNA has had so many great storylines that didn't have a payoff. And I'd hate to see the Trick Williams, Joe Henry, Mike Santana storyline not have the payoff that it should be, which is Mike Santana winning the World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary. I want to see it have a great payoff, and I'm scared that AJ Styles could mess that up. Now, if AJ Styles is the guy who hoists Mike Santana up at Slammiversary with the World Heavyweight Championship, it'd be a great way to pass the torch without actually having to even lose a match. All that would be great. So I have very mixed emotions on how I feel about AJ coming back to TNA, especially if it's only for one night. If he's not going to do a Mike Santana feud, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of against this. Because AJ's at the twilight of his career. We're never going to see those matches that we seen him perform in the first time he was at TNA. We're never going to see that again. Mike Santana is at the beginning of his career. Trick Williams is at the beginning of his career. Joe Henry is at the beginning of his career. These guys are all on the precedent of the best storyline they've all been in. This is the best storyline that all three of them have ever been involved in. And they're sharing this moment together. And I think it's truly great. And I want it to continue. I don't want AJ to mess that up. I don't want AJ to ruin something just because you have an opportunity to bring AJ in. I think AJ coming into TNA, maybe having his last match with a good storyline at Bound for Glory, and then also getting inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame is probably the best case scenario for AJ Styles. If you start building towards that at Slammiversary, that could obviously be good. But I don't know about just bringing him in randomly. There really needs to be some thought into this, because we don't want this still in the show. And I have a feeling that if AJ comes to Slammiversary, it's going to steal the show, and all the focus is going to be around that and not around Mike Santana winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't want it to steal his thunder, because he should be the nuts and bolts. He should be the focus of the show. Mike Santana winning the World Heavyweight Championship should be the focus of the show. And I don't want it to take away from this great potential moment that TNA has. I want TNA to continue to succeed on the brink of a TV deal. Now, when I talk about a TV deal, AJ Styles would definitely make a network want, because AJ's been in the WWE now. AJ has a name now. He is now a star, and he could potentially make the ink get wet on a deal, a $10 million deal, and that's what's rumored. Maybe it takes an AJ Styles to make that deal happen, and if that's necessary to get the deal, then AJ Styles is more than worth it to bring him in. It's funny because when AJ was on the top dog at TNA, it was always WWE guys taking his stardom away from him. Now he's at a spot where he could potentially be the guy who is the WWE guy, taking the spotlight away from the young TNA up-and-comers. And he could be the very thing that held him down. I hope AJ remembers those days when all those guys like Booker T, Hulk Hogan, RVD, all those guys came in and took his spotlight away. I hope he remembers it and knows how it felt and says, I'm not going to do that to the next generation of TNA stars. I hope AJ Styles hangs his hat with Jesus Christ, because I know he does. And he doesn't want to do that to someone who's trying to make a career of their own. I hope AJ Styles does the right thing. I hope this is what's best for TNA. I believe in my heart AJ would want to do what's best for TNA. I believe that he knows what it's like to be held down by the WWE stars coming in on the monthly basis, get a quick paycheck, and be back out the door. I'm sure he doesn't want to be that. I'm sure if he comes in, he wants it to be most beneficial to TNA, because I believe AJ's a good guy. I believe AJ Styles is up, and I'm glad AJ went to WWE and made the money he deserved, because that he couldn't make it TNA at the time. I'm glad he did that, because he deserves that. He deserves everything he gets, because he's phenomenal. He is phenomenal. He really truly is the phenomenal one. And at least he was the phenomenal one, but his legacy is phenomenal, and he deserves all the success he gets. I can't think of anything better to say than God bless you, AJ Styles. God bless TNA. God bless Slammiversary, because it's going to be a spectacular event, and AJ Styles coming to TNA at Slammiversary just makes the event better. It just makes the event better, and I hope it makes it bigger, and I hope it's the right call. And done right, it could be the right decision, but it has to be done right. It has to be about getting the TV deal. It has to be about building towards the Trick Williams feud, not taking away from the match that they have. I'd like Trick to just flat out say, AJ's in the building and he's trying to steal my thunder. And AJ says, no, it's not like that. And then Trick says, yeah, it is, and just hits him backstage. And then then Trick has this match. There's no interference. But after the match, Trick says he was distracted and that's why he couldn't win. And then AJ comes out and they have some kind of standoff. And then I want it to close with Mike Santana with the World Heavyweight Championship. I want all this to happen. I want it to be great. I want it to be about Mike Santana being the World Heavyweight Champion. I want Slammiversary to be as iconic as I truly believe it has the possibility of being. Anyways, AJ Styles and TNA at Slammiversary is on the rumor mill. Let's see if it comes to fruition. Thank you for watching. I'm Kent Jones, and I'm signing off.